Hey guys, this is Mr. Grice for Algebra 2, Chapter 3 Review. We've already talked about the first 9 problems. If you need help with those, make sure to go watch video number 1. Today we're going to continue with the review, starting with problem number 10. Now, problem 10 says 10 ounces. Let's see, so that sounds pretty important. So, 10 ounces of 5-ounce sodium solution are mixed with 15 ounces of 10% sodium solution. And it's asking together how many total ounces of sodium are in the mixture. So we want to know how much between each of those mixtures. So our first one is 10 ounces at 5%. Okay. And our other one is 15 ounces at 10%. So you need to find out what both of those are, and then the total means you need to add those two numbers together. Okay, so let's get started. 5 times 0, 0. 5 times 1 is 5. Now, we do not need to multiply those zeros out because if we were, they'd all be zeros. So we're really not worried about those. There are two numbers behind the decimal. So there you go. Okay, so the next one, when you're multiplying the 0 out, 0 times 5 is 0, 0 times 1 is 0. Hold the place value. 1 times 5 is 1, or 5, and 1 times 1 is 1. Add those up, you get 150. Same thing, there are two numbers behind the decimal, so keep it there. To add those two numbers up, it's 150 plus 50, and you get 2.00 or 2 ounces. Okay, just make sure to label. All right, number 11 says that a pair of shoes is on sale for 15% off. If it normally costs $50, what is the sales price? Now, the way we talked about this was two steps. The first thing is you're going to take how much you're paying, or what the percent off is, and subtract it from 100, which means you're paying 85% of that. And then you're going to multiply those guys together. So 5 times 0, 0. 5 times 5 is 25. Okay, 8 times 0 is 0. 8 times 5 is 40. Add those two numbers up. Now, did you pay $4,250 for your shoes? No. There are two numbers behind the decimal. So you paid a total of $42.50. Okay. Number 12 said the sum of three consecutive whole numbers, consecutive integers, is 249. Find the integers. So we've talked about, so if we have three numbers and your first number is x, so say that's 12. My next number would be 13, which that would be your original number plus 1. And then the next number would be x plus 2. So the three of those together are going to equal 249. So go ahead and combine your like terms, and you get 3x plus 3 equals 249. And from here, we're just following the rules of SADMAT. All right, so we're going to subtract 3 to both sides. And we get 3x equals 246. We got to divide both of those by 3. Off to the side here, 246 divided by 3. 3 does not go into 2, but 3 goes into 24 8 times. Bring the 6 down. 3 goes into 6 2 times. So x equals 82, but I want my 3 consecutive whole numbers. So that would be 82 83, and 84, the next three numbers. Okay, the circumference of a circle, so we're talking about a circle, and the outside of that is 144 pi centimeters. You need to remember that the formula for circumference, twinkle, twinkle, little star, circumference equals 2 pi r. Okay? So we know the circumference is 144 pi, and that's going to equal 2 pi times the radius, because that's what we're looking for. Okay? On both sides, I need to get the r by itself, which is right there. So I'm going to divide, because all of that is multiplication. Divide both sides by 2 pi. Those canceled. Divide by 2 pi. Your pi's cancel. You need to do 144 divided by 2. 2 goes to 14 7 times. Bring the 4 down, and it goes into there twice. So 72 equals your radius, and that's 72, we're talking about centimeters. All right, number 14. If a giant donut, 5 giant donuts cost $3.75, how much would 8 cost? So right here, you can do two different things. We've talked about doing proportions, where it's the donuts over the cost. Okay, we know 5 donuts cost $3.75. You want to find out how much 8 cost. So you can cross multiply and find out. If you do it that way, you're going to get 5x equals 3.75 times 8, 0, 4, 8 times 7, 56, plus 4, 8 times 3 is 24, plus 6 is 30. So 5x equals 30. Donuts, 8 donuts do not cost $30. That's insane. Okay? So you have to solve for x, divide by 5, and you get x equals $6. Okay? That's method 1. The other way you could do this is find the unit price. We've talked about unit price. You know that for $3.75 you can get 5 donuts. Okay? 5 does not go into 3. 5 goes into 37 7 times. And 5 goes into 25 5 times. So each donut is 75 cents. You want 8 of them. Just times it by 8. 8 times 5 is 40. 8 times 7 is 56, plus 4 is 6. Okay, so no matter which way you do it, you're going to get the same answer. All right, number 15. If you have 13 nickels, 8 quarters, and 20 pennies, how much money do you have? So just remember that we talked about writing this in cents. So 13 times 5, 8 times 25, and 20 times 1. So off to the side right here, 13 times 5, oh, not 6. 3 times 5 is 15, carry 1, and you get 6. So this is 65 cents. Off to the side, 25 times 8, 0, carry the 4, 200. And then hopefully you do not need to do 20 times 1. If you add all those up, you get 285 cents, and the total amount of money, just move the decimal over 2 times, $2.85. All right. 16, the length of a rectangle, so let's see, is 5 inches shorter than the width. So we got length and width. Let's draw our rectangle. So the length is shorter than the width. Okay, we know that all the sides of the opposite sides are congruent in a rectangle, and it's a total of 50 inches. So you're going to take all of your sides, so the x minus 5, the x minus 5, all of that together is going to equal 50. Okay, when you combine your like terms, and now it's just solving for x. Okay, so we're going to add 10 to both sides. You get 4x equals 60. Divide both sides by 4. X equals, who knows? Well, let's do the side work real quick. 4 goes into 6 one time, and 4 goes into 20 5 times. So x equals 15. So our one side is 15 inches, and if our other side is 5 inches shorter, it's going to be 10. So those are the two sides. All right, Maria is driving east at a speed of 45 miles per hour. When she passes Miguel, who is going 60 miles per hour. So here are our two little cars. I know you guys wish you could be a cool artist like me. So one person is going 45 miles per hour, and the other person is going 60. We've talked about distance equals rate times time. We know the speed, we just don't know what the time is, okay? And we want the total distance that they're going to equal 315. So if you just take those two speeds, it's going to equal 315, okay? Let me actually make that look like a 3. Okay, combine your like terms, you get 105t equals 315. And now both sides you're going to have to divide by 105. And to get that answer, like, I don't know exactly how many times it is. I'm just going to guess to see if it's 3. 3 times 5 is 1. Carry down the 1. Boom, there we go. So t equals 3. We're talking about time. So our answer is hours. Okay, the following represents the price of different size juice boxes. Which brand offers the better price per ounce? So this is what we did just a second ago with unit rate. Okay, we're going to divide each one of these out. So the first one is Mondo. We're going to do that in blue. So you need to take those numbers, and we are dividing. 6 goes into 7 one time. Subtract, bring down the 2, and 6 goes into 12 2 times. So this is 12 cents. All right, let's do Capri Sun in red. So we got 91 cents divided by 8. I'm going to bring that up. 8 goes into 9 one time. Bring the 1 down, and it goes into there one time. Oh, we didn't get a pretty answer. Let's see if we can do one more. And it goes into there 3 times. Oh, and that's going to keep going. So we're just going to say that this is 11 cents. We're going to round that. And then the last one, high C. Bring that up. Does 8 go into 1? No, 8 goes into 11 one time. Or not 8, I'm sorry, that's 9. So 9 still goes into 11 one time. We get 27, and it goes into 27 3 times. So which one of those is the cheaper? And that is Capri Sun. I know that's not one of your answers on the bottom, but that's what that one is. Okay? Alrighty. Just a couple more, guys. We're going to keep this video going. Okay. Solve and graph the solution. Write it in interval notation. So, before we solve, we need to distribute. Combine your like terms. You're going to get negative 1x plus 4 is less than 2x minus 9. I want to get my x's on one side, so I'm going to subtract 2x because I want them on the left. Negative 3x plus 4 is less than negative 9. Oh, man, I'm making all sorts of mistakes right here, guys. Hopefully you're yelling at me. Negative 3 times 4 is negative 12. And to get rid of that negative 12, we have to add 12. There we go. So negative 3x is less than 3. To get the x by itself, we need to divide both sides by negative 3. And we get x. The answer is negative 1. I did not write my sign yet because we have to flip the sign. And we have to do that because we divided by negative. Okay? Now, but that's not what they're asking for. They want you to draw the graph. Okay? And we have an open circle. It is greater than, and then we're writing this in interval notation. We start at negative 1 and it goes to positive infinity. All right, next one. Draw my line so I can see everything. We want to solve for x, which is right there. First thing we have to do is subtract 6 to everything. Negative 6 minus 6 is negative 12. 4/3 x and 8. So to get rid of that, we have to multiply by the reciprocal. So over here, I'm going to do some side work. 3 over 4 times negative 12 over 1. 1, 3. So here we get negative 9. My side work over here, 8 over 1 times 3 over 4. 1, 2, and we get 6. Okay, so for this one, we both have closed circles, and we're going to shade in between. Doing interval notation, negative 9 to 6. Okay, anything in between there is going to be the answer. All right, only a few more. We have two separate inequalities here. Okay, so we're going to treat each one of these individually. First thing is to distribute. Make sure to multiply to both sides like I forgot to do on the last example. Let's add 6 to both sides. We get 3x is greater than or equal to 9. divide both sides by 3. We get x is greater than or equal to 3. On the other side, we have to divide by -2. So we get x, we get -5, and we just divided by negative, so we have to flip that sign. Okay? So our numbers are -5 and 3. X is less than -5, and x is greater than or equal to +3. Okay? So putting that in interval notation, starting with the left, we start at -infinity to -5, and that's an open circle, union, close parentheses 3, to +infinity. Okay? Now that little negative sign was left off of your answers on the bottom. Please forgive us, but that is the correct answer. Okay, and our last one. Remember, 2 separate problems. Solve for x. I'm going to subtract 6 to both sides. We get x is greater than -1. On the opposite side, I'm going to add 6 to both sides. 4 plus 6 is 10. Divide both of those by 2. We get 5 is greater than or equal to x. And remember that we want to have the variable first. So when we rewrite that, x and 5, look to see, who is it pointing to? Okay, it's pointing at the x. I'm going to make sure it stays pointing at the x. So -1 and 5. The first one is saying x is greater than -1, but then x is less than or equal to 5. And what ends up happening is everything gets shaded in, so writing that in interval notation, -infinity to +infinity, and that's it. Alright guys, well that's it for chapter 3, review number 1. If you have any questions, please come see Ms. Carranza or myself. We would love to help you out. Thanks for watching, guys.